All right, speaking of Dave Shiels, I was just playing with his deck during our break. So Dave Shiels is playing Red-Blue Beatdown. He's playing with Delver, he's playing with Goblin Guide, he's playing with Grim Lavamancer, Snapcaster Mage. I asked him why no Jace, and he says, well, Snapcaster Mage is like the top of his curve. He's only playing 20 lands. He pretty much only wants 1-drops and 2-drops. He has Price of Progress, and he has a lot of disruption. Daze, Spell Pierce, and he has Brainstorm and Ponder to pretty much find everything. But red-blue aggro, and that's pretty much it, his deck. What about
Charles McLaughlin? First, I'd like to point out his handwriting is awesome. His just like his penmanship. This looks like my grandmother's handwriting.
Okay.
And she was an English teacher. This is excellent. But anyway, he's playing Rug Delver. Pretty standard looking list. He only has 3 dazes. He has 4 forces, which is a little bit unusual nowadays. Besides that, though, it looks pretty stock.
Yeah. Dave says that this is his best matchup.
Rug Delver?
No, against Charles. No, yeah, against Rug Delver. Yeah. No, he says Rug Delver is just a really good matchup for him, and I can see why, especially after board, he's bringing in a Force Submerge, which is good,
Well, the Submerges are good, but like they hit... Nimble Mongoose is really, not the easiest thing ever for Dave to deal with, and Tarmogoyf's good against Dave too. Like, I'm surprised that he thinks this is his best matchup.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's a good matchup for him as well. I think AJ Sakura was playing this like blue-red Delver deck for a while, and I forgot who it was, but he won like 2 opens in a row. He's Andrew, I think. He's a really nice kid. I forgot his name though. I think it's like Andrew. He won the open like 2 weeks ago or something. I always talk to him at the events. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, Gerard, what's going on? But I always forget his name. And then I saw that he won the open like 2 weeks ago. He won with blue-red Delver. I think it was like in Louisiana. You were probably there doing the coverage. You don't remember? He wears like a hat. He wears like a ski hat. Whatever. But he does well with blue-red Delver as well. Yeah.
Blue-red Delver's a good deck. You should probably just look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Oh, nice. Charles McLaughlin. With the, is that a beta volcanic island?
It might be beta. Looks pretty nice though.
I like it. And a Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, it was in Alabama. Tournament in Alabama he won. Alright, so Charles leads off with a turn 1 Delver. I see Shiels has a Daze in his hand. Just Scalding Tarn. I wonder why nobody plays Hentatora. The card's like really, really good. But in the meantime, Shiels is searching his deck. He'll probably get a island, just so he could, not get wastelanded, just in case Charles has one of his 4 wastelands. It's tough because if your opponent, has wasteland, you want to go get your basics. But if he doesn't, you want to obviously get your dual lands.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that was actually the lucky Delver that I put in.
Oh, you put a lucky Delver in?
I put a lucky Delver. It was face down, upside down. So he drew his lucky Delver on turn 1. And there's a Daze. I think Shiels is going to Daze this back. What do you think? Probably makes sense.
Like the generally accepted play there, right?
Alright. That's kind of a funny board. Just 2 Delvers. No lands. Yeah, Delver. This is when a judge would usually come over and be like, wait a minute, how did you guys cast these cards? Alright, there's a Lightning Bolt on Dave's Delver.
Oh, Dave drew his Thunder's Wrath in his opening hand. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. Alright, and Shiels would draw for his turn. Alright, yeah. Ken Crocker, I'm going to give you a new Team Italia list after this game. Alright, there's Island, and there's Delver number 2 for Dave. And there's Daze number 2. And that one's definitely going to resolve. Yeah, like, Dave just has a mulligan in his hand. Unless he draws like a Brainstorm to put it back.
He does have a Brainstorm.
Yeah, but I'm saying if the Brainstorm doesn't resolve, then it's a mulligan. Alright, so Force of Will. We'll flip over Delver. And yeah, dude, this game's like crazy. All these dazes back and forth.
Yeah.
There's
That's how it used to be.
Island. Yeah. Alright, so Shiels draws a Grim Lavamancer, but he doesn't have any more lands. So he's going to have to probably do a main phase Brainstorm to dig for a land. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it, but sometimes you really have to.
Yeah, see, it's Andrew
Andrew Schneider.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
yeah, I know.
I said it was
Schneider is.
Andrew. I said Andrew.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, with red-blue. Alright. So instead, Dave just passes the turn. I'm kind of surprised he passed the turn there. And
I like passing the turn.
and there's a Chain Lightning from Charles. So if Shiels lets us resolve, he'll be down to 9 life, which is pretty low.
I think you counter this here just because if your opponent's doing it, he clearly.
What do you think?
No, he didn't.
All right. So Dave does nothing, draws a card, and draws Misty Rainforest. See, if he just brainstormed on his main phase, he would have drawn that Rainforest anyway.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, like, sometimes it's good to be patient, but other times it's pretty rough, too. Wait, so that's only the second attack from the Delver? Shields is only on 12?
I thought Shields was on 9 or 8.
Yeah, do we have the correct life totals up there? Yeah, okay, that seems right. So, yeah, Shields is on 8 life.
Yeah, it'd be a little odd
Yep.
for the opponent to Chain Lightning to the dome. I suppose at 15. I've seen crazier things, though.
He did Chain Lightning to the dome.
Yeah, but when Dave was at 11.
Oh, yes,
or
yeah,
when
yeah.
Dave was at 12,
Oh, sure,
now
yeah.
he's at 15.
Yeah. All right.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah. So now this game's looking good for Shields. Charles is just stuck on the one volcanic island. That was like the same volcanic island for the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Shields is going to do a main phase Brainstorm here, tapping the island. Ooh, okay, so he leads off with a Grim Lavamancer. And he just holds on to those 2 Brainstorms?
Yeah, I like it. There's no reason to use them.
What is he saving the Brainstorm for?
That's what Brainstorm is for. You never use it. If you're playing it properly, then you should end the game with it in your hand.
That doesn't make sense.
Like...
Alright, Charles decides to try to kill the Lavamancer with the Chain Lightning. I think maybe I would have tried to go to Dave's head there. Try to get him down to 5, and then it kind of prevents Shields from using sack lands because then he's in range of a bolt or so. And plus Charles is at 19. But
right,
regardless,
so here
it was
I might
Pierced.
main phase Brainstorm. Just because... And you really don't want to be Goblin Guiding. Yeah. So...
Alright, there's Brainstorm.
I like this. I like the waiting to Brainstorm.
Alright, it looks like Shields found 1 sack land at least, in the form of a
You're so
Flutter's Trance.
antsy with your Brainstorms.
Yeah, I think, if you don't have mana, you want to draw 3 cards or look at 3 cards to try to get a land. Let's see if Shields does anything with a Miracle. Yeah, so I think Shields is probably going to want a Miracle next turn.
Well, he's going to put it on the top of his deck, and then if Charles does something like top deck a land and then cast a Tarmogoyf, then he can always Miracle to kill the Tarmogoyf. But
not, he'll shuffle away.
Yeah, if Charles doesn't have that, like the 1 mana for 5 damage, like who really cares?
Alright, so this Goblin Guide. And Shields will attack for 3. Goblin Guide trigger will reveal a Tropical Island. That's very good for Charles. So Charles will have his second land for next turn, and he'll get to draw a new card. Because he would have drawn the Trop, but now he gets to dig 1 deeper. Ooh, and he draws a Wasteland. Alright.
That's really good for him.
So Charles is, coming out of this mana screw.
So Tarmogoyf. Yeah, and then a Miracle Thunderous Wrath is going to deal with that Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. They're just counting to see how big it is. Creature, land, instant sorcery. So it should be a 4/5. Sometimes people use dice to show how big it is, but that also could be confusing. And that could be like, oh, is that a token? You know what I'm saying? Alright, so Dave Shields Miracles.
That's pretty good. What else would have been big enough to deal with the Tarmogoyf?
Look at this member. Yeah, but...
I mean, but a card we were complaining about being in his opening hand, and I mean, Dismember there would have been pretty rough.
I mean, not.
He's at 8.
Yeah.
He's playing against a deck with burn spells in it.
But it also could have just been like a bolt to combo with like the Lava Mancer or something.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think Shiels is going to probably play a second Goblin Guide here, and bash in and try to put a real clock on Charles.
I mean, Dave knows that his top card's a land, so he's probably going to want to sacrifice his fetch land anyway. Maybe he brainstorms first to just see what those other 2 cards are, and then like take the cream of the crop.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, brainstorming seems okay here. He has a sack land, so if he has cards that he doesn't really want, he could, put them back. Let's see what he finds. So Flooded Strands, Scalding Tarn, and Snapcaster. That's pretty good. He'll put back the 2 lands. Shields only really needs 3 lands to operate on his entire deck.
Yep.
His deck is, all 1 and 2 drops, but he does have Snapcaster, so he wants to be able to, Snapcaster and play one of his instants in his yard, or be able to, play a 2 casting cost card and have activation for Lava Mancer or to leave open Spell Pierce. So essentially, his deck works fine on 3 mana.
Definitely. I mean, his deck can do everything that it wants to do for 3 mana.
Yeah. All right, so Shields goes down to 7 life because he
It's one of the reasons why Delver is so strong in Standard, because it operates like this. All of its spells cost 1 mana and just make it more consistent.
Yeah. Makes Mulligan easier and stuff. All right, so there's the other Goblin Guide. And Shields will attack for 5 points of damage, putting Charles at 11.
Charles reveals a Ponder off the top of his deck.
Somebody viewing named Dane tweets in and says there's lots of dredge floating around. So let's see if people brought their dredge hate. Thank you, Dane. All right, so now Charles has an option to, Wasteland Shields to try to cut him off a red, but hey, that doesn't matter that much. In this situation, really Charles has to ponder, and he has to try to find a Tarmogoyf to hold down the fort. These Wastelands could come in handy if, Charles gets low and he's afraid that Dave has a price of progress, or he can wait, obviously, until Dave plays a price. When it's on the stack, you waste your own non-basic to save yourself 4 life.
All right. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like only saving yourself 2 because you had to play the Wasteland, which would have dealt you 2.
Sure. So it saves you 2.
Yeah.
But you could have used that Wasteland for mana earlier in the game. All right, so we have a 3/3 Nimble Mongoose, which will definitely hold off the fort.
It's pretty good against Dave.
Yeah, it's 3/3, correct?
I think it's 3/3.
Ponder, Daze, Delver, Chain Lightning. That's 6. What was another card that he cast this game?
That might be it.
Ponder, Delver, Daze, Chain Lightning. I remember him casting 6 spells.
Did he use a fetch land?
Oh, and Tarmogoyf, 7.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We know about that one.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. I think Dave at this point has he has like multiple bolts. I'm surprised he didn't swing with everything.
To knock him down to 8? No, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Dave's plays just past. I think Charles is in fine shape here. I mean, it's not good, but as long as he has something to deal with Shields' burn, I mean, it's close.
Please come to the red side fence banner. Once again, that is standard win box number 2. Please head to the red side fence banner. Your event is ready to begin.
All right, so Shields is just doing some math. Charles is on 11. Dave does have double bolt in hand with a Snapcaster, so that's dangerous.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like if he just attacks with both Lava Mancers, Charles goes to 9. He activates the Lava Mancer, Charles goes to 7, and then your opponent's at 7. You have double bolt Snapcaster and a deck that's full of cheap burn spells and an active Lava Mancer on the table.
All right, so Shields shoots Charles down to 9. All right, there's Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and this is suddenly not too bad for Charles.
No, I mean it's super close.
Yeah, it's really, really close.
Yeah. All right, there's a bolt on the Lava Mancer. Bolt on the Lavamancer. Alright. Shiels is going to bolt Charles down to 6. Let's see what Shiels draws here. He draws a Delver. That's kind of a brick.
Well,
I mean, for this turn at least. If it flips next turn, it's obviously good.
So, yeah, I mean, the Delver flips next turn. Dave can lethal him with the bolt.
Yeah. But, I mean, Shiels has to be careful because Shiels could just die to Charles. Because, I mean, Shiels is not 7.
Yeah.
So Charles draws a Wasteland, I think. Was that not a Wasteland? Or was it Nimble Mongoose? Why would you play Nimble Mongoose first? And just pass the turn? Why would you pass the turn? No, Charles.
Letting Dave win this one.
Somebody go over and tell Charles to attack. What's going on here? All right, so he flips. And Charles just has a Force of Will in his hand. And Shiels is going to take game
card,
1.
Right?
Yeah, that's his last card, just a Force of Will.
Yeah, Dave knows about it.
Yeah, he was revealed from the Delver earlier.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess Shiels might not kill him. He might just, not show that he has the bolt, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shiels is a player that wants to give as little information as possible. And, I don't really blame him. So Shiels is just going to go chump the Goyf, chump the Mongoose. Yep. And Charles might just scoop it up to the Delver. So Shiels won't even have to show him the bolt. Oh, he bolts him anyway. I'm surprised. I don't know why Shiels would make that play.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just bolt him on your main phase. You know he only has...
What's an urban mental misstep? What?
It's not an urban. He said unbanned.
Unbanned. Unbanned mental misstep.
An urban mental misstep.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like some urban legend because we were just talking about how, Shiels didn't want to kill him. So then either they were tweeting in like, oh, it was like an urban mental misstep that just pops out of like underneath the table, and Shiels was afraid of the urban mental misstep like legend. But all right, unbanned.
It was too hard for him.
All right, that makes more sense. And somebody else says unbanned mystical tutor, but then you could just put the miracle cards on top of your deck that way, so they probably wouldn't unban mystical tutor.
Mystical tutor does not seem like the best one to unban.
Yeah, I don't think so. So these guys are going to be sideboarding. Dave Shiels is going to bring in the red elemental blasts. Maybe. Probably not. What do you think?
Yeah, you bring in red elemental blast against these decks.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
The Force Emerges.
Yes, you definitely bring those in.
And the one Price of Progress.
Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Do you care at all about Tormod's Crypt? No. We don't care about Tormod's.
No,
we have Submerge. All right.
I mean...
Then Sulfuric Vortex.
He's playing Tormod's Crypt?
Yeah, he's playing Tormod's Crypt. Why not?
All right. Well, I don't know. Relic is just so much... I really like Relic in these decks because he's really soft to like Tarmogoyfs. And Nimble Mongoose.
No, he has Submerge.
But Nimble Mongoose still,
yeah, Nimble Mongoose is good against him.
Yeah, I don't understand why those decks don't just play Relic, because Relic's so good against those decks.
Yeah, Relic's pretty good because Relic just cantrips, but Relic also destroys Shiels' graveyard, and Shiels has Lavamancer and Snapcaster.
Well, no, but you just keep tapping the Relic, and you keep their graveyard in 0 cards.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult for that to happen. I mean, in my Team Italia deck, I do play Relic on my sideboard, and I like it.
And you bring it in against decks that have Tarmogoyf and Mongoose, I assume.
Yeah, or Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's... I mean, Shiels is a different deck, and he's from Boston, so we have to forgive him. But yeah, so Shiels up a game. This is kind of what I expected. The Blue-Red Delver deck has a lot of burn, it's fast, and it could always, finish off his opponent with Price of Progress. was pointed out on Twitter that Price of Progress is, a very dangerous card.
The Price of Progress kills people, man.
Yeah. It's a card where, you could be riding high and all of a sudden, boom, Price of Progress, you take 8 damage just for a measly 2 mana. What do you think about Charles? Is he going to bring in any sideboard cards, or is he just going to sit there and shuffle up with his smile?
Charles is definitely going to be bringing in some sideboard cards. Scavenging Ooze might come in, just because it gains him life. What else does he really want here? His sideboard's not really well equipped for Dave's deck.
He probably wants Spell Pierce. Because, especially that he's on the play, he could go like land and
I'm really surprised he doesn't have Red Elemental Blast. I thought that was like one of the most attractive reasons to play Red in Legacy.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the big reasons. But yeah, I think he's gonna bring in the Spell Pierce, and he's probably gonna bring in the Scavenging Ooze. So I can see that being the case. All right, so they're going to be off for game 2.
Scavenging is also just huge.
Yeah, it's definitely a good card. Ben Lundquist called me up. They said that they were having a sale on the Commander decks at Walmart, and the ones with the Scavenging Ooze were on sale for like $9.99. And his friend bought 7 of them. But I went there and they had none. I don't know. All right, so Charles leads off with a turn 1 Delver.
Value seeker. So it's definitely going to be what I call you from now on.
All right, so I see Shiels has a Submerge in his hand. One of the better cyber cards, ever printed.
Oh, it's just so insane to just have a free repel.
Yeah, and lots of times with sack lands, they, you put it on top after they sack their sack land.
Yeah, you like respond to a sack land. Against Knight of the Reliquary, it's sick because you respond to it activating.
Yep.
By putting it on top, and then you actually just shuffle their Knight of the Reliquary back in their deck for 0 manas. Good deal.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so there's a Delver from Dave Shiels. Now, Charles is going to untap, and he's going to check for Delver. That's my read. Is he going to check or not check? Sometimes people don't check. Ooh, Force of Will. Discarding Stifle.
That's a very aggressive Force of Will.
I don't really like Force still in the deck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look how good this card is for Dave Shiels. It's 1 mana.
He just cast a 1 mana Hymn to Turok.
Yeah. Ooh, he checked, but he did not reveal. All right, and Charles attacks for 1. Yeah. I mean, Shiels is in great shape this game. It's only like turn 2, and I can just tell Shiels is going to crush. All right, there's Delver number 2. I mean, Shiels doesn't really care about that. He's got Lightning Bolt. He's got Submerge.
Yeah.
He's got the works. Ooh, there's a Goblin Guide.
Ooh, Goblin Guide.
I think Dave right here, he just wants to pass a turn and wants to see if Charles is going to use that Misty Rainforest or not. Oh, he's got Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt? I think he's going to Chain Lightning, yep.
That's completely reasonable.
Yeah, definitely a good play from Shiels.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you like the Chain Lightning, or do you like just leaving open the Bolt?
No, yeah.
I think it's just better to use the Chain Lightning while it's not that relevant that it's instant.
Yeah.
The only reason you're really passing is just for a little bit of information.
All right, so Delver did not flip. Charles plays his 3rd land and passes back to Shiels. Shiels is more of a Type 2 master than anything. He came 1st and 2nd, pretty much 2 years in a row at Standard Grand Prix. So here's a Lightning Bolt on the Delver. And I'll probably just pass the turn to Charles. So Charles, decides to just get rid of that Misty Rainforest, go fetch up a land, then on my deck. He doesn't have any basic lands. So...
And I mean, he doesn't...
And Shield will probably know this once, he searches up another dual land. He didn't see any basics game 1, and, he didn't see any basics game 2 yet, so he knows these Price of Progresses are going to be really good.
What is that other card in Dave Shiels' hand? He has Goblin Guy, but what is the other one?
In what, Shields' hand?
Yeah, the red card.
Oh, the red card?
It's not Goblin Guide.
Maybe it's a Price of Progress.
Is there alternate art for Price of Progress?
I'm not sure. It could be the Miracle card.
Maybe.
Is the Miracle card? Yeah. Okay. There's Brainstorm. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, with Brainstorm, you have to be careful and declare which one's your first one if you want to get a miracle. Same thing with Desperate Ravings. You have to declare which one was your first one. You show it face up, and then you have to leave it face up as you randomize which one you discard. Because it could have been like 2 of the same card. Man, my tongue really hurts.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Alright, there's no Mongoose. And that does not have Threshold. There's only a measly 1/1 right now, but this reminds me of like the Magic commercial where the guy writes a letter to the Magic R&D and says, make your goblin less of a weenie. And then he knocks on the door, a giant growth.
A giant growth.
And he's like, what do you think about him now, Brian? And he throws him on the coffee table. One of the classic Magic the Gathering commercials. You guys could YouTube that one if you never saw it.
I remember the old Magic the Gathering commercials.
Alright, so Shiels hits his 3rd land and passes it back. And Charles, just with a couple of cards in his hand, attacks for 1. Ooh, and there's a Snapcaster.
Ooh, very nice from Dave.
Yep, let's see if Charles has anything to make that Nimble Mongoose grow or to remove that Snapcaster. Alright, so Brainstorm, he's just 1 card away right now. You think he's gonna get there?
Multiple Brainstorms from Charles. Where
Do we know when Charles played this Brainstorm? Is it in response to Snapcaster, or is it like after he had blocked?
I don't know if we know that.
Alright.
I would wait till he blocked. Because you want to just... if you can get to 7 cards.
Uh-oh. Charles doesn't find an answer. Maybe he should have brainstormed first. Alright, so... just with 6 cards in his yard, right? 2, 4, 6. Only 6.
Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting spot for Dave because, you know, if Charles has any instant in his hand, it's any non-counterspell instant.
Yeah, if it's just...
See, the thing is, if Dave blocks here, and Charles just bends the Mongoose, then that gives Dave a huge amount of information. That gives us a huge amount of information, too. That tells us that Charles does not have a burn spell in his hand. Tells us that Charles does not have... doesn't have a Brainstorm. Doesn't have a burn spell. Now, his hand can only be, Nimble Mongoose or counterspells. And it can't even be a Daze. So it basically puts it down to Nimble Mongoose and Force of Will as the only 2 cards in his hand.
Alright, so Charles plays a new Nimble Mongoose. This one's a 3/3. So this one will be, problematic for Dave. I'm actually surprised that Dave is still holding on to that Submerge. Dave had a chance to submerge a Delver early in the game, but he decided not to. So we'll see if, this Submerge comes in handy later, or if Shiels just ends up shuffling away from Brainstorm more or not.
Dave explained to me yesterday that he thinks he has cast lifetime 40% of his Submerges correctly.
This was a conversation you guys had?
Yes.
Alright. So Shiels will draw for his turn. Once
he feels that the card Submerge has a lot of unlocked potential that he does not tap into often enough.
Okay. Alright, so with Snapcaster, can you play Submerge for free, or do you have to pay 5?
You have to pay 5.
You have to pay 5, okay.
Yeah.
So, Shiels draws a Snapcaster Mage. And I think Shiels might be kicking himself after the game, or once he watches this tape, because I believe Charles has a Wasteland in his hand, and Shiels decided to fetch up a dual land when, maybe he really didn't have to. He plays 2 islands, he plays 2 mountains, and at this point in the game, he really wants enough land to be able to Snapcaster again and do whatever he wants. So he decides to Snapcaster and Chain Lightning Charles. But Charles is going to kill the Snapcaster. Why would Shiels do that? I think Shiels might have made
yes, he definitely made a boo-boo.
Yeah. Unless Shiels has some mastery plan, but it just
I don't think so.
Yeah. And look, there's that Wasteland. And now Charles is looking pretty good. Lots of times people just Chain Lightning and nobody ever has the red open. And maybe Shiels wasn't really looking and didn't see that he actually did have red. All right, there's Goblin Guide, and he's going to reveal Tropical Island. This is really good for Charles.
Yeah.
You know, he's should be drawing action right here. Let's see if he does. Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe they were just checking something. So Charles with 3 cards in his hand, one being Tropical Island. Is that Scalding Tarn, drop? Wow. Why would Charles play another non-basic?
I don't know, but he now he's dead to a Price of Progress, right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially he was kind of dead to Price of Progress because of the
Goblin Guide.
well, maybe not if it's a Goyf. Oh, okay. Ooh, it's an ooze. Okay, so maybe
That
that's
makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because he wants more green mana.
He wants the green mana.
All right.
Because he can
All right, so
obviously use it to gain life.
Shiels holding the Submerge might come in handy on this ooze.
Definitely gonna come in
Yeah.
handy.
All right, so Charles will gain 1 life.
Charles gain 2 life.
Charles will get another life.
So Dave has like a 1-turn window here.
Maybe that Chain Lightning play was all in Shields' plan. To hit him for
Somebody's
3.
asking about the first Snapcaster targeted a lightning bolt, which Shields just aimed at Charles. Just aimed at his face. But if Shields draws the Price of Progress here, he can just submerge the ooze, price Charles, and attack for 2 and win.
Yeah. All right, so Shields is thinking, what does he want to do here? These games are really close because, out of nowhere, somebody could like bolt you, Snapcaster. So, life gain is really, really important in this type of matchup. Charles checks his 1 card in hand. Alright, so Shields hits land number 4. Doesn't really need 4 lands, but has them anyway. And he just passes the turn. Charles will draw. Was it a spell?
I did not see.
Alright, we're not sure what Charles drew. But Charles is saying, hey, I'm going to attack with my 4/4 and my 3/3. And Shields is, weighing his options, taking his time. 245 players here, I believe. So we're going to be playing 9 rounds.
Legacy, 245?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
The legacy retention rate's almost 100%.
Yeah. So there's a Snapcaster. Snapcaster doesn't target anything, and he wants to double block the Nimble Mongoose. And Ooze is going to gain him 1 more life. What? Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's still. Wait. Yeah, he's still. Is that 7? Yeah, that's still 7. Okay. Alright, so there's a Submerge on the Ooze. And the board is going to be cleared.
Submerge puts a card on top of your deck, not in your hand.
Yeah. Well, once he tries to cast it, Shields going to say, hey, okay. Yeah. Alright. He should untap those lands. Well, he untapped like 1 of them.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah. Didn't he use the Ooze 3 times? Like, all green should be tapped.
Yeah.
I think Shields pointed at him too. I think he did it twice to Shields and once to himself, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter, but... Alright, so Shields plays another land. Why is Shields playing out all his lands? Does he want to try to Snapcaster and cast Submerge or something? Wouldn't he want to hold a land for a Brainstorm?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, because of the Miracle card.
The miracle thing.
Yeah. I forgot about that for a second. There's a Ponder. Delver, Lightning Bolt, Volcanic Island. Alright. Looks like Shields is going to draw Lightning Bolt. And there's a Lightning Bolt on the Ooze. if Charles just didn't activate the ooze, he would have been better off. Because then the bolt wouldn't
Yeah,
have
the
been
bolt wouldn't have been able to kill it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth thinking about that. Like,
Yeah.
I could gain 2 life right now, but then I give my opponent the opportunity to kill
Yeah.
my super important creature.
Yeah, and that could have cost him the game. Like, what ponder is Shiels keeping and then not doing anything and saying go? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, lightning bolt.
Yeah, it can't be a counter spell. He's losing to an ooze on board.
Yeah, the only other thing it could be is like a price. You know, like Shiels is holding price or something.
I mean, at this point, Shiels kind of just looking
Or
for a
has
price.
one price,
'cause he
yeah, price.
To, like,
All right, so Shiels draws a volcanic island. Somebody tweeted in asking if there's any good miracle decks. So far, no. We didn't really see any good miracle decks. I saw a miracle deck somebody showed me, but I don't know if it was good. He was 0-2, so.
What was he trying to do?
He had like a lot of burn with the 5 damage miracle stuff, and then he had ensnaring bridge. So he wanted to discard his hand with like faithless looting and stuff.
Well, the problem with that card is that like it gets stranded in your hand with the snaring bridge.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was playing like 100. I thought it was just like some random deck with like 100 cards, but he was just like double sleeved. So that's why it felt like 100 cards. All right.
double sleeved.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So Charles fetches up his 4 tropical islands and 3 volcanic islands currently, and he'll draw for the turn. I think that was a Delver he might have drawn. I think he should just play Wasteland. Shiels draws a Delver now. Let's see if Charles Delver can flip.
Yep.
Right.
So what's going on here?
All right, wow.
Ooh, that's
one
a
of the
really
best
good
ones
one.
to flip it with. Somebody disagreed with my Ponder theory, but he shouldn't just have not activated the ooze. He should have waited until he had a 3rd green mana to play around Lightning Bolt. Yeah. All right, there's Brainstorm. 1, 2, 3.
No, I think that Ponder arrangement is fine. Like, you don't... Like, he wanted to shuffle away that Delver anyway.
No, I'm talking about Charles should not have activated his ooze.
Yeah, I'm responding to Twitter.
Oh, okay, because it opened him up to Lightning Bolt.
Oh, yeah, I know how Perfect fits. We actually have them on our cube. I just... For Constructed, it's, you have to sleeve a deck twice before the tournament? That takes so long. How do you have time to do that?
Alright, so Shiels fetches up a volcanic island. And he's really going to need to try to find something here. Oh, he finds a Brainstorm. That's pretty good. And he's got Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Spell Pierce. Doesn't really need the Spell Pierces anymore, so...
Yeah, Spell Pierce is not too good.
Yeah, he should probably put back Spell Pierce, and then go fetch up a land with the Mystery Rainforest. Well, instead he's just going to scoop. He's going to save time and scoop. I'm kind of surprised that he scoops there. Why would he scoop?
I don't know, isn't his opponent just dead to a Price of Progress?
I'm really baffled why he scooped there. Shields on 5, and we saw that Shields hit a bolt. Why did he scoop?
I don't know.
All right, so Shields ended up scooping. I don't know how much time's left in the round.
Maybe that has to do with it?
Okay, so just about 8 minutes left in the round, but I felt Shields was not dead that game. And he had outs, no? Unless we're missing... tweet in if you guys think we're missing something here. Why did Shields just straight up scoop? The score was 14-5, and Shields brainstormed into a Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Mystery Rainforest, Miracle was in his hand, so he would have put back Spell Pierce, played Mystery Rainforest, sacked it, go down to 4, and then he could be able to Lightning Bolt the Delver. I mean, obviously it was tough because Charles also had a Sylvan Library.
A Food Chain Mistala Griffin? That's awesome. So we just post that.
Yeah. All right, so they're going to be shuffling up quick for Game 3. And, I mean, if you guys can't figure out why Shields scooped, I'm going to ask him afterwards and get his theory on it. All right, Shiels is shaking his head, trying to pile his deck quickly. So again, this is round 3 of 9. So we still have round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot of rounds left. And then we have top 8, we have top 4, we have the finals, and we have the finals interview. So stay with us. We'll be here probably for the next 7
years.
Nah, probably the next 7 hours and 50 minutes. So, just enough time to watch The Departed 3 times exactly. All right, somebody says I'm right. Thank you, Sammy B. Somebody said I hope he scooped because he boarded out Price of Progress. I would not board out Price of Progress. That card's like really good versus him. It's like
he didn't board out Price of Progress.
Well, the guy saying, I hope that's why he scooped and not that Shiels made a mistake, because Shiels is this guy's favorite Magic pro. All right, so turn 1 Goblin Guide from David Shiels.
Getting it. That's when you want a Goblin Guide.
Turn 1, yeah, turn 1's good. It revealed the Force of Will, and I think Charles is gonna have to kill that Goblin Guide right here. All right, he kills it with the Chain Lightning, but Shiels has the Daze. Okay, does Charles want to fight over this or not?
Nope, decides not fight over this.
Somebody tweeted in that they said that the price would also kill Shiels, but it would have been a draw, right?
Yeah, it would be a draw.
Yeah.
And then if game 3 doesn't end, there's only 8 minutes left on the clock.
And yeah, Shiels
Dave
wins.
the match.
Yeah. All right, so Grim Lavamancer from Dave. We see a Nimble Mongoose drawn by Charles, so he'll probably play that Trop. He's gonna bolt the Lavamancer. Oh, he's gonna Chain Light. Ooh, the Goblin Guide. That's kind of interesting. Do you agree with that?
In this spot.
Ooh, and he surgicals the Goblin Guide. What is it, surgical? The Goblin Guides? Why wouldn't he surgical on his upkeep?
Wow, and he paid right for it too.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
That's good for Dave, because Dave only wants those Goblin Guides on turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's like good for Dave. Now Dave doesn't have to draw the cards that are bad redraws.
Yeah, kind of interesting. We'll see what happens here.
Dave sided out most of his Goblin Guides.
He only had 2 or 3?
He only had 2.
Yeah, Goblin Guide's like, I was actually thinking in game 2 that Goblin Guide wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, Nimble Mongoose could get in front of it, it dies. It's, I feel like the burn is just better. The price is just such more, of an impact card. More powerful. All right, Shiels draws a Flood of Strands.
He's really land heavy this game.
Yeah, but he has Brainstorm and some sack land, so we'll see how that works out. All right, there's that Brainstorm. Shiels are going to put back a couple of lands. And I think he's going to play a Flooded Strand, and he might just Ponder now.
I like Pondering now.
Yeah, I like playing on Ponder as well.
I like attacking for 1.
You do like attacking for 1?
Definitely.
Oh, okay, so Shiels does nothing. He does not Ponder, and he doesn't attack for 1. I don't really like attacking for 1.
I like attacking for 1, and I like Pondering.
All right, Charles plays a Scalding Tarn, immediately cracks it, so he'll fall down to 13 life. And he'll go get a Tropical Island. So Charles' board is Volcanic Island, Trop, Nimble Mongoose, versus Volcanic Island, Flooded Strands, and a Lavamancer. If somebody were to ask me who's winning this game right now, I would say Charles, even though he's at 13. Who would you say?
Dave does have more cards in his hand.
All right, so you guys could be the judge on who's winning right now, but what matters is who wins at the end. It doesn't really matter, like in the big scheme of things, but for this round,
grand scheme of life, it's not like like a war between 2 countries or something like that.
I mean,
people aren't going to read about this in history books, but it does matter to them.
I mean, even for this game or for this tournament. All right, there's a Lightning Bolt. Shiels will respond. All right, they have a 3-minute extension, but the round's about to end pretty soon, so we're looking at about 5 minutes total. So
yeah.
And this is 5 magic time. This is not 5 minutes like basketball time, where 5 minutes basketball time takes a half hour. This takes only about 7 minutes. All right, so Nimble Mongoose comes in.
Almost thresholded.
Yeah, one more away from threshold. We see Charles has a forcible and another card in his hand. I really think Charles should have boarded out his forcibles.
Force will's not the best thing in this matchup.
The only thing like he wants to force against is like a lethal price. But maybe if the game plays differently, you don't have force, you have something else. I won't get to that point,
I don't like this ordering by Dave.
Well, maybe he's going to shuffle, or maybe he has a plan. We'll see. All right. There's a Delver. Yep. Delver could trade with Mongoose. If Delver flips and Mongoose is a 3-3. Ooh, so he draws another forcible. So, all right, so Charles has some backup here because he's got force backup. Oh, and there's the ooze. There's Mr. Walmart himself.
Mr. Walmart.
Yeah, if you can find him at Walmart. All right. The Delver flips. Shiels will draw his Ponder. I think Shiels is going to immediately cast his Ponder.
I would.
Yeah. Before he plays a chain lightning, I think I would Ponder. Because he's definitely going to try to chain lightning that ooze. Yeah, alright. So Shiels takes my advice there. Island, Daze, Mountain. Definitely
Keep that Daze.
No, why would he keep that Daze? He's going to shuffle.
Really?
It doesn't do anything.
If you got the... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm being stupid.
No, that's fine.
I thought Charles was tapped out, and I was
okay.
like, oh, he has an opportunity to kill the ooze.
Yeah.
But,
so he draws a Brainstorm. Very good draw for Shiels.
Yeah.
Shiels is going to attack. What's Shiels' plan? He can't go to the head because of that ooze. He needs to get rid of that ooze. So Shiels is going to play his land for the turn. And somebody tweeted in and said he scooped because the Sylvan Library was foreign, and he thought it was a Tarmogoyf.
Attention players, that is timed around.
All right, this is timing the round now.
5 additional turns as necessary. If you have any problems, please raise your hand and call for a judge.
All right, he's got that chain lightning ready to be cast. He's thinking. All right. This is unlike Dave, not to be so decisive, He's actually thinking about this. I mean, you got to be. Oh, he's going to the head. All right. Charles goes on to 7. I don't really like going to the head there.
Charles forced it anyway, though.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's still. All right. Ooze is going to grow, and he's going to gain that life back that he paid from Force. Now Charles is going to rip a Tarmogoyf off the top. That's my read. All right.
Charles in for 6.
Yeah,
Dave,
Shiels at 12. Did Charles draw anything good? No, I guess not.
Doesn't seem like it.
They're probably about a minute and a half away from time.
Still that Brainstorm for Dave?
I guess Shiels went to the head because Shiels has Snapcaster.
Yeah.
So.
Please head to the red side of that screen.
Ooh, what's that
Thunderous
red card?
Wrath.
Yeah,
He gets to put it on the top of his deck.
Yeah, that's good.
That is really good.
Yeah. I think Shiels is going to take this game.
He doesn't put that on the top of his deck?
No, I think he will.
He didn't.
No? Alright. So Charles will go on to 5.
Your droid charger to a fellow player. It has been returned to
Is that not the miracle card?
It is the miracle card. Like, he could have just put it on the top of his deck and then brainstormed during his opponent's upkeep and then killed his opponent.
Come on to the main event stage and get it back.
Right?
I'm not sure why. Alright, so Shiels sacks his sack land. Maybe he's going to do a Snapcaster or something? Main phase Snapcaster. Shiels falls to 11. There's a Snapcaster. There's a chain lightning to Charles's head. Charles is on 2. I don't understand. Can't that ooze... The ooze only removes creatures, correct?
Correct. Well, it can remove anything, but it only gains life when it removes creatures.
It could remove anything, right? Or no? Yeah, it removes anything. Scavenging.
Shield might lose this game now.
Dude, what? I don't understand. Why didn't he... What? Like, why didn't Charles remove that chain lightning?
I do not know.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, Charles...
You can't do that during your upkeep. It's not your first draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, lightning bolt you.
I think Charles... I don't know. Yeah, that was...
That was really weird from both ends.
Yeah. So...